All right, so we are here today. What up, YouTube? How you guys doing? We gave a lot of people some updates a little bit in the middle of the day, so don't expect everybody to be here, but we got a recording for you guys a little bit later if you do miss it. But we here with the legendary TC Carson. He's been killing the game for a long time. When I was young, living single was a thing back then, but I was a big gamer, so I knew him from God of War. That's what I knew him from. You know, he's here with us today. He's part of the cast now, one of the cast members. I'm just excited to be talking with him today, especially in front of you guys. And it's just going to be an amazing conversation. TC, take it away, man. Introduce yourself to people who somehow don't know if they don't.
Hey, what's happening, people? I'm TC Carson, and I'm glad to be here today.
Yeah. So one thing I was really excited about was a couple weeks ago, TC reached out to us on Instagram, right? He
Mm-hmm.
loved what we were doing with Black Sands. And he was like, yo, you need voice actors? And me, I was like, hell yeah, we need voice actors, right? Right. It was right at the time where we were starting to go real crazy on casting. And I was thinking, when I saw him come in, I was like, all right, first of all, the character has to be somebody who's very in a high leadership position, right? Because that's where I see him at in general. And what I thought was Dayoon would be a perfect character for him because in the movie that we're doing right now, this three-part movie, Dayoon is the basically the king of the Magi, right? Which is a very religious society that basically fights against ancients, like ancient gods and everything else. That's what they do, right? And I was like, he's the man. He's going to be having a crazy amount of work in this movie, right? And having someone like TC Carson is really going to bring home that whole vibe. You know what I'm saying? So I casted him for that. And me personally, I just think he's one of the best voice actors out there. How long have you been doing like video game characters, animation characters, and stuff like that? How long has that been going on?
Maybe early 90s, well, mid 90s.
Mid '90s.
Mid 90s, yeah, mid 90s. Yeah, probably like 97, something like that.
What was the first character?
Oh, man, no, you didn't ask me that. No, you didn't ask me that. God, what was the first character?
It was a good question, then.
I can't even think. I don't really want to. I couldn't tell you.
The thing about it was for me, this is something I was talking to Giselle about a lot was how did this transition go from living single to like Kratos, right? So I'm trying to find this path. Like, how the heck did it go from living single to freaking Kratos? Like, something happened, like maybe an agent made a move and was like, yo, I think this would be the best play for you right here, or something. How did that happen, man?
I started. A friend of mine told me that, thought I had a great voice and I should do voiceover work. So I took a class.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the class, I had a demo tape that I shopped, and I got an agent. And before I started doing Kratos, I was doing commercial work.
Okay.
So that's how I got started in the voiceover game, was through that. And Kratos came through an audition.
I can't even imagine that, man. It's such a wild change of what it kind of reminds me of? Uh, what was Homeboy's name of from Die Hard? Now, for some reason, I can't remember his name anymore.
Bruce Willis?
Yeah, Bruce Willis. Yeah, Bruce Willis. He was like a TV drama guy. So he was like, he was doing like TV romance and everything else, and then he's like the biggest badass like action star, right? And you're like, how did that transition happen? It just happens, right? It's like,
You go to the audition and hope.
yeah, man. So I'm glad that happened because now we're here, right? So many decades later, and we see that now you got the power to just pick and choose what you want to do, right? And well, one thing is this, right? This project, the Black Sands anime, right? It was funded by purely the fans, right? Purely the fans are behind this project, and this is the first time I believe that Black people really got skin in the game when it comes to box office, right? Like Black people never get the check from the box office sales. So to me, this is like kind of like not only empowering to our fans and our investors, right, but also just to the creative process.
Mhm.
Because how many times have we been in that boardroom or whatever writer's room, and we got a whole bunch of people from Hollywood that's like, well, this is what market forces would take this particular character, so we need to change it this way, or I don't think they'll really like this in Southern France or something like that. And you'd be like, who cares what Southern France says, right? It's like so you know how that is, man. Sometimes they're very heavy-handed in Hollywood, especially when it comes to black representation. And we got some freedom, man. What does that mean to you to not only be a part of this project, but also be able to put your own input in? Because we are always looking for input from the actual actors. Like what I write is not what you're going to say, right?
Well, it goes back to, I had an earlier interview, and it goes back to what I was telling him. It's like, at this time, if we don't support each other and work with each other and create the things we want to see, we'll never see them. We see what this country is about right now.
No.
We see how we're not being considered. It's not about us. So what are we going to do? And that's my question right now to everybody. It's like, what, as Black people, what are we going to do? Are we going to stop asking somebody to keep doing things for us and they keep saying no and we keep asking?
Real talk.
Or are we just going to do it? We have everything we need. So when I saw your project, I thought, well, this is great. You know, it's a brother making something for us, and it's okay to make shit for your community. It really is okay. They make you think that it's not. They make you think it's got to do them, that it's got to reach. No, it does not. Tyler Perry showed you that. He creates content for us.
Yeah, that's the thing too. That's always tell people, like there's way too many Black people here and in Brazil, and I don't even really gotta go anywhere else. But if we would just dominate in here and Brazil, you are a multi-$100 million company. Like you're in the hundreds of millions of dollars per movie, because that we are our own massive demographic. We just don't have to spend $200-300 million on one movie, right? We spend like 5-10 million. We make a lot of money, and everybody gets economic empowerment. You know what I'm saying? Just be reasonable, control the budget, and you should be able to do whatever you want. But the problem is, a lot of the people in Hollywood, a lot of people who've been in here for a long time, they don't know how to get out of that headset of we got to have $100 million movies, right? We got to have national, like international box office, some craziness, and we got to make sure that every demographic is happy about the production. So we got to water certain things down or cater to certain audiences. And it's like, why can't we just make stuff specifically for the Black community?
You can, if you just stop asking them for permission.
Mm-hmm.
You can. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody's telling them. They may not agree with it, but they can't stop you from doing it.
Yeah, I think what happens is that a lot of these guys who can technically just fund it themselves, they felt like it, right? And reap the benefits of that funding, right? I think a lot of times they don't want to mess up their relationship that they currently have with the people who cut them checks, right? The people who do fund the movies in general. So if they say no, of all these executives are saying, no, I don't want to make that movie about Mali, right? Or about Mansa Musa. If you go and do it, you might be insulting them. And I think that's the reason why they don't do it.
So,
but that's their mentality, is that I don't want to insult people.
Again, I can't speak for them. What I can say is that we as a people in this country should stop worrying about what somebody who has no vested interest in our survival thinks about what the fuck we do.
That's a clip right there, right? I'm chopping that one up. Because that right there is what everybody needs to hear, that same message, man. I've been preaching that forever. It's like, you walk a certain way. Every single creator nowadays, especially comic book creators, they walk a certain way because they don't want to piss somebody off at Marvel or DC 20 years down the line when their stuff gets picked up. Like, hey, if I go in there and they say, what happened with this? I don't want to mess up my future prospects. It's like, stop worrying about the future and worry about right now. Mm-hmm. Your people want you to make a certain product, make it. And if everybody else gets pissed off by it, who cares? 1% of the US population, right, is more than enough to make anybody a massive success. And yet we keep trying to pander to the rest of the world, knowing that they have some vendetta against us. Like we all know, black people got a huge random vendetta that will never end on us, and we just got to be able to make ourselves dope. That's it. We got to make ourselves happy. We got to make our kids see themselves as more than just ex-slaves. Like, that's the craziest thing in the world, to be like, your history began as slavery. And people are like, no, that's not true. But that's all you ever show them. You literally, in every single textbook in school, it begins with slavery.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you expect the kids to think? What do you expect them to be all motivated to make something of themselves when, such a horrible past? So that's what our company has always been about, is just, fighting that fight to basically control the narrative. Mm-hmm. and being able to get our kids motivated and make a good enough story where the adults are big fans too, right? Because they're like, they want to hear some politics and ancient stuff and history. So it's all mixed up together to be an experience for the entire family.
Cool. I can't wait to read the script.
Yeah, I gotta give you that for sure. Hey, so people haven't seen Dayoon. Let's go and pull him up just so we can see it. This is the actual design from the anime. So this is Dayoon in the anime, and this is like one of his like ancient god killer like weapons. So if you guys don't know, all of the Magi have like black tattooing on their body with a red oversight, and they also have like pure black eyes. That's just a way of like their cultural like practices, right? Because all they do is like deal with ancients. That's like their bread and butter. And Dayoon, like, he's a really dope, charismatic character who's kind of like, I guess, and kind of an opposition force of Asar, because Asar is kind of hot-headed, right? He doesn't know the implications of what he's trying to do out there in the world, and Dayoon's telling you, hey man, just let you know, some of these forces we shouldn't be messing with, right? We gotta leave well enough alone. And so he's a really cool character in that sense, because he gets to tell people, right? He's like kind of the voice of reason in Asar's story, right? Asar is a character that has to grow over time, and we see it where he's a little rash, he's a little aggressive, right? And then over time he gets a little more logical in his decision making, and Dayoon's a major part in that whole process. So I'm pretty excited about that. What do you think of him so far? Like as far as like looks and feel, what do you think of characters like that?
He looks like me. My body looks just like that.
Yeah, what's up, man? I know everybody in the comment section are going pretty hard too about it too, man. They've been having a lot of fun with this. Me personally, man, like, I want people to be going to Comic-Cons exclusively for voice acting in Black Sands. That's what I want. I want it to be the biggest attraction for any voice actor that makes this cast to be that character from Black Sands. They're like, yeah.
We need something at these Comic-Cons that is us. That is us, unapologetically us.
Oh yeah, definitely unapologetically, because right, we got these dark-skinned Japanese characters, right? That's the best we got, right? Dark-skinned Japanese character, and they were like, "That's me." We're like, "Nah, we gotta go hard." Mm-hmm. So as far as it comes to like, I guess advice you would have for voice actors in general, right? Especially Black voice actors trying to get into this industry, because a lot of them do hit me up all the time, right? Especially when I announce these voice acting positions being filled, they'd be like, "Hey, I want to get on the cast and everything else," and I'm like, technically, right now we're using only seasoned veterans, right? But any of the people who are basically trying to get into the voice acting industry, what advice would you have for them?
Take a class. Take a class, and preferably a class where you end up with a demo tape at the end. That way you can go and shop your demo tape. If you don't have a demo tape at the end of your class, then you're gonna have to go someplace else to record a demo tape. So find a class that will give you a demo tape at the end, which is what I did.
Okay.
And we had, I forgot how many weeks of class I had. And then at the end of it, she had copy for me, and we went into the studio and did the voiceover demo, which got me my agent. So a lot of people think you can just get up and read something, and it's not as easy as that.
Okay. Hey, where was that anyway?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Okay, so you did yours in Los Angeles. Would you say that most people should take a course in Los Angeles, or should they, are there other cities that are like kind of good in this space as well? I heard Atlanta's kind of good right now.
There's an online course that D. Bradley Baker offers, and I think that's a good place to start. I
Yeah.
think it's also you want to be a voice actor or something like that. But D. Bradley Baker, and he's amazing. He's done so much. Pretty much everything you see cartoon wise, he's done some voice on it or is doing a voice on it.
Okay.
He's got a nice online course for people, and that way they can, try it and see, you know, see if they like it. It's easier to do on your computer. You don't have
Hmm.
to go anywhere, and it's a good way to get started. And then you can, if you like what you are doing, I don't know if he provides you with a demo tape at the end, but I'm sure he can steer you where you need to go to make that happen.
Yeah. Whenever I do like offer visits at schools and stuff like that, I always, especially with the high school students and above, I always try to have like an entire session dedicated to like making your business plan. Like,
Mm.
so I'm teaching you how to write and everything else. But the bottom line is, if you don't know how to find your audience and get to your audience with the product that you created, then at the end of the day, you're gonna make that epic book that only four people read because, right? You didn't do the probably the most important part of it, right? The actual getting out there. I think that's the hardest part is going out there and making sales.
Yeah.
It's like everything else is the book and everything else. You could sell a really shitty book. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? And be very successful because of your marketing plan. So, you got to learn how to do the business side, and that's what you're saying right there is purely the business side of things. You can learn to be a voice actor all you want, but if you don't got a demo reel, you be the best in the world. You ain't got a demo reel. Most people won't even give you a chance. They'd be like, I don't care. Where's the demo reel?
Right.
Yeah. So I want to just open it up for a couple of minutes, maybe like 5 minutes or so, where we can get some questions from the audience, right? If they
Sure.
have any questions. So let's start up the questions now. I'm starting past Ronald Smith. Anybody who has any questions, I'm gonna pull your text up and we'll ask it. And at the end, I'm gonna let TC go, and I'm gonna do my campaigning, man. We gotta push them numbers up on the campaign. So I'm gonna be doing that at the very end. So let's see here. They'll start coming in a second, but in the meantime, yeah. As far as the investment round goes, here's the update on how the investment round's been going. So basically, we've been burning through a crap load of money because we're in full production right now, and we're doing about 400,000 a month at the high end and 300,000 on the low end right now, as far as cost. So what we're trying to do is reach our maximum goal by the end of December, something like that. And if we do that, then we'll literally be perfectly on time for the summer release of Black Sands the anime, right? Because we'll have all the capital in place necessary to burn through the entire way, right, with hundreds of animators and everything else. With that being said, basically we're done with the first episode animatic completely, right? And now TC and a lot of other people are going to be doing studio time probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, right? For all of the voice acting for the entire film, like in the next 2 or 3 weeks, right? Knock it all out one time, right? And that's going to be done. So we're going to have a lot of content we're going to be able to share with you guys in about 2 or 3 weeks or stuff like that. That's going to be pretty awesome. So you guys know that your money's actually being worked on, right? It's not something that's just going into thin air. We are making the film right now in full time, right? And the main thing we got to do is keep pushing. We got to keep getting investors. We got to keep telling our friends and family, get up in there. And it's a profit sharing round. So at the end of the day, right, if it works out, everybody gets a check. That's all I really want, man. I want everybody to get a check of more money than what they put in. That's all my goal is. My goal is to make sure that people get more than what they put in. That way we have a proof that Black people can fund themselves and get it into the market and don't have to ask for permission ever again. All right. That's the goal. So let's see what we got here. Okay. So ain't you about to go on tour?
No, we're doing and thank you, Maria. Thank you. We got an album coming out. We just finished it, and we're in the process of mixing and mastering now. So it should be out in the spring, and it's going to be called Standard T.
Standard T. Gotcha. Yeah, man. I guess got some fans here from the jazz side, man. He said a lot of my supporters are from an older generation, right? I'm like close to 40 years old now, right? And a lot of my fans are my age or older, like a lot older. Like I got some grandparents who are diehard Black Sands fans, right? They probably in here right now, grandparents, straight up, like, oh yeah, Black Sands chapter 13 was amazing. My grandkids love it. I say, how do you know what's in chapter 13? You're like 60 years old. But they be loving it, man. So I always love
watch yourself. Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
I love my peoples, man. It's a different kind of vibe. It's a different community. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, they try to court the younger audience, right? 20-year-olds, when we're making comics. It's not like that with us. You know, our community is more about edutainment. A lot of teachers, a lot of doctors, and everything else. It's just a pretty established community. And that's why people know about this stuff like jazz and everything else. That's just the community we in, Let's see what we got here. Okay, so this is a question of what was dope about Black Sands. D. Alex said that. Now he and his character is Dayun. Yeah.
The fact that it was an animated feature that was dedicated to our story before slavery. Something showing us as kings and queens and warriors and things that they made sure that we didn't see here. Mm-hmm. Things that they beat out of us here, which made me want to do the project. I've always been partial to things that are pushing my community forward, that help us. I try to do characters that are positive for my community, for young Black men. Because we need that. We need those representations. Young people need to see those things. So to be able to be in an animated feature that I know is going to reach a lot of young people, that is going to show them just a little bit of who we are, is important.
Word. For sure, man. Let's see. I think he's been asked this 100 times, but I'm gonna let this one slide. He said, "Well, you have a voice Kratos again."
If they pay me enough money.
There you go. Gotta cut that check, man. Gotta cut that check.
Hey.
Oh, let's see. TC, are you a manga anime fan?
No.
Okay, here we go.
What is no? What is that?
Manga and anime?
Uh-huh.
That's like the Japanese cartoons, basically.
Okay. Yeah. They're a little violent for me.
Some of them are pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of worse than some of the well, no, I won't say worse, but they can be more violent than some of the live action stuff that I see.
Yeah, for sure.
Like just blood and arms severed and bones and guts, and it's just like, oh wow, really went there.
All right, so check this one out. So you're part of the. He said you're part of the Mount Rushmore of voice actors, right? You, Keith David, Phil Lamar, and James Earl Jones. Yeah, I could definitely see that right there. That's definitely true, 100%.
That's great company.
What character you're playing, and do you see any resemblance to yourself in the character? Yeah, I think he kind of answered that one, but I'll still pull it up. Let's see.
Yeah, he looked just like me.
Let's see. Okay, someone said, we loved your rendition in My Funny Valentine. You said, what will be your, okay, I think you just answered that one. What will be your new album, right? And that was Standard T, correct?
Said, will that be on your new album?
Oh, will that be on your new album? Okay.
No, but you can get it. We already released it once. And if you go to, I think iTunes, I think it's on TC Carson Live in Beverly Hills.
Okay. This is a pretty interesting question. He said, on a side note, does the industry purposely sabotage voice actors? And what they mean is, in particular, Black voice actors.
I think the industry does exactly what it does, and it caters to who runs it.
Yeah, so it's more of a sources issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
The person cutting the check, right? They have their own biases, their own beliefs,
Absolutely.
and they don't care about. Me personally, I don't think they care about profitability.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times they're using investor money, and so they don't really care, right? It's like investor money is about vibes, like
Mm-hmm.
oh, the number went up even though we were unprofitable somehow. Like somehow our stock price went up, right? It's like so it's all vibes, and since they're not using their own money, they pick who they feel like they want to have in the industry versus somebody who's better, right? And they definitely like give money to a lot of their friends. So I see a lot of studios that shouldn't be working on 20 films, and they get like 20 films a year. And you'd be like, how the heck are they getting all this work? It's because their buddies, like somebody's a cousin of somebody or whatever, and they put in that investor capital into private money, into their private estates. That's how they do it. So that's my theory. I'm not in the industry, so I'm just a random voice on the wall, right? But that's my theory. To how a character sounds, is it based on how the character looks? Oh, that's interesting. All right. When committing to how a character sounds, is it based on of how the character looks, or is it strictly based off the script?
Both. It's both. I mean, if you got somebody that looks big and gruff and rough, you can't give them a little soft voice. Unless they're playing that dichotomy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is, and hopefully the words match what the persona of the look is. You won't have to make up so much.
Got you.
Fits together.
Favorite comic book superhero?
Black Panther.
Okay, that was pretty. That's on that was quick too. Black Panther off the chain. Let's see.
He's been around for a minute.
Yeah, forever.
Mm-hmm.
Before I was born. Let's see. What else will you be doing outside of music and voice? Do you do other things outside of that?
Oh, I do quite a few things, my brother. We're about to release the new Wesley Christmas movie, or Wesley South African Christmas, that comes out BET right around Thanksgiving. We're about to do press for that. I am working on directing a rom-com that'll be out next year around this time.
Mm-hmm.
That going on. The album comes out in spring. We just finished recording. Now we're in the process of mixing and mastering that. Comes out in spring. I have a late night talk show called Uncle G Daddy's Kitchen that we're shopping right now. And hopefully we can get some eyes on that this year as well.
Okay.
I also have a jazz club here in Atlanta called Rebels that we're looking to open up by January.
Oh, you've got a whole club and everything. Jeez. That's what's up though, for real, man. I think people need to be able to do things they're passionate about. I'm most likely in the future, I'm probably going to be like buying restaurant franchises just to bring them into locations that I live, right? Just because, right? Like if I have the extra capital, I'll be like, I don't care if it makes money or not. This is a great restaurant to have in the community. I want to hear, right? It's like because it's like something that I just feel like would be like really good just to have in communities. So there's a lot of times that people pursue their passions regardless of whether it's super successful or not. It doesn't matter, right? I just want to do it for people's benefit, right? And it makes me feel a little better knowing that people have access to this, right? That's so I've been doing that a lot. In fact, a lot of my books, the books that we have, like Madagascar, Lions Game, and everything else, these are books that are not going to be like massively profitable or whatever. But who doesn't want to have a martial arts tournament in ancient Mali, right? I just want to see people seeing this Mali Empire stuff, and if I got to fund it all and it's not going to be like making me crazy amount of money, as long as people have access to that, right? And seeing themselves and royalty and culture and everything else, I'll fund it and I'll let it ride, right? So I think a lot of times we kind of forget about the people who do that, right? And we go and we go and support the people who are 100% about themselves, right? They don't care about nobody else. They're like, if it ain't benefiting me, I'm done, right? and we forget about the people who actually have had a long resume of just doing things to give people opportunities, right? And if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't, right? But at the end of the day, right, you just want to make sure that something like that exists in the world. And I think we need to be focusing on that. Hopefully we will, right? A lot of people have, so it's not like it doesn't happen, right? But I would like it to be an overwhelming majority of the Black community doing it. That would be great. Yeah, so I'm gonna let TC go, man. He's a busy man. He got like a billion things to do. So he got his tour coming up right now, you know. So and I gotta get him in the studio. Gotta get him in the studio, man. We gotta get these recordings. So it's gonna be an amazing thing. Please hold on for a second because I am gonna tell you about what we're doing with the campaign and everything else. But TC, thank you so much for being here, man. You the man. Real talk. You straight up the man.
Appreciate you. Can't wait to read it.
Absolutely, man.
All right. Peace.
Peace. All right, so let's talk about the campaign for a second. All right. Oh yeah, we do love him, right? He's a good man. Good man. All right, so let's talk about this campaign. Let's bring it up. Let's go and see what we got out here. So let's change this out. And we actually are in the very heart of the anime right now. Like we're in the heart of it. So what we're trying to do, right, is right now we're at 1.105, right? That's kind of where we're at right now. What I want to do is I know a lot of my base investors are sitting roughly at at max, right? Nothing you can do if you're at max. If you're at max, you're at max, right? For the people who aren't at max though, at this point in time, I would love if investors came in with an extra $500 so that we can get this ball moving. Because at the end of the day, we kind of been sitting around at 1.1 million for a while because like social media is not really letting us out of our bubble. So we kind of want to like get that ball going again and get to at least 1.2 so that we can have that traction again, right? Our goal is to get to $2 million by the end of December. And I think we're going to do it because we have a lot of film, we have a lot of actors, we have a lot of stuff that's going to be out within the next 2 or 3 weeks, right? And the thing about it is, right, we got to make sure we get that capital so that we can actually like not stop. We don't want to stop, right? We don't want animators to stop. And then we got to rehire people and spend months trying to go and figure out how it's going to happen. We kind of want to just run straight through the production. So what we want to do is definitely get you guys into this investment round. If you haven't invested yet, now's a great time to invest. If you have already invested, doing $500 would be a huge boon. Because think about it, we have like 1,200 investors right now. So if 1,000 people did 500, then we're looking at an additional $500,000, right? So if you do have the capital, definitely do so. Especially if you were planning on doing like Black Friday this year, right? People are saving money for Black Friday, but what you're doing is getting the same TV over and over again. You have the same TV every year, right? And they don't even discount them anymore on Black Friday. So what I want to do is instead of going for that capital on Black Friday and stuff like that, what we could do is just invest in Black Sands, and then you guys get a bigger share of the profits when we come on during the summer, right? So, at the end of the day, so long as we get there, that's really all I care about because we've really done a lot. I mean, the first animatic is completely done. The first episode animatic is completely done. We're animating it right now with the teams out there in Korea. All the voice actors except for 2 are contracted. So every character in Black Sands is currently contracted except for 2, right? And we are going to be hitting the studios in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So we've just done everything we possibly can at this point, right? Like we've really been killing it. And, I'm ready to go on to the next stage and be able to start looking for movie theaters, right? Getting that movie theater contract. We want to get like 1,500 theaters if we can, right? Right now we're sitting at like 500, but I want to get 1,500. In order to get to 1,500, we have to have a lot of bells and whistles already checked off the list. So if you guys can do that, that would be great. Let me go give you the link again. So I'm going to put the link in the comment section. And you don't have to wait until the end of the video to invest. If you do it right now, it's always great. But basically what we're doing right here is we got to make plays, man. It's us. It's all on us, right? It's all on us. And at the end of the day, if Instagram, if TikTok, and all the other platforms are kind of shadow banning us and not letting us reach new people, then the people who are currently in the in the community, we just got to double up. We got to triple up. You know what I mean? I wish it wasn't that way. I wish you could get like 1,000 new random people to invest 250, right? But the algorithm won't let me out my bubble, man. They won't let me out my bubble. So I got to go and try to get as much out of the community as I can. We've done a lot already. Like, really, there's nothing to be ashamed of. We've done a hell of a lot. We did 1.1 million ourselves, quietly, with no help, right? And so now we got to actually, you know, kick some butt. But at the same time, think about it. Would a production that's not destined for greatness be able to get the voice actors that we got? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, minimum is 250. Yeah, the minimum is 250. But would a project that's not you know, destined for greatness get actors that we have, right? We're getting actors because we have a really great production and we have a team that's already done a lot of movies, right? Have you guys seen the animation that came out too? Let me show you. If you guys haven't seen it yet, let me show it to you real quick. I think I have it over here. Let me see. Let me see. Oh yeah, this one. Let me go and pull this up and I'll show you real quick. Oh, that's too big. Let me see. There we go. Let's get this smaller. That works. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and share this screen. So this animation that you see right here, this animation is actually like the animation from. Sure it is. All right, cool. Yeah. So this animation right here is the animation from that we did for like our test at MIPCOM. So when we went to MIPCOM, we had to show like real Black Sands animation, even though that's not our director, right? So this is more from like an internal team that's simply making like the animatic stuff for MIPCOM. But if you look at it, even with that fact that this is not our director doing the really hardcore choreography and what's it called, it still looks pretty dang good considering this is like a really quick job. Like it's like a quick thing that we made specifically for a show. There's no special effects. There's no what's it called, and yet it still looks pretty damn good. And the frame rate is really good. Like I think the frame rate's pretty like amazing as far as like what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? And this is the kind of stuff that you kind of can expect when it comes to the Black Sands anime. You know what I mean? Someone said, Giorgio said, what is the max for non-accredited investors? It really depends on your income. So me personally, here's a good way to get past the maximum, right? So let's say the maximum is $2,500 because you got an income of $60,000 a year, right? If your wife or your husband has an additional $60,000, right, and your household income is $120,000, then you put your household income instead of your individual income. And when you do that, it'll give you a higher maximum. So instead of giving you $2,500, it might give you $5,000. That's how it works. It goes based off your income. So putting your household income is a great way to get that number higher, especially if you're investing on behalf of the family. I don't know any husbands and I don't know any wives that are investing only for themselves. They're usually investing on behalf of the family. So put the family's income on there and you'll have a higher maximum. All right. Let me see. Is that the one that was on YouTube? I don't think so. This is brand new. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you too, man. Now, quick question. Does anybody else have any questions for me specifically? So if you have any questions about the anime and stuff like that, please send them to me directly and I'll be able to answer them here while you got me. And if you just invested, let me know in the comment section, okay? If you just invested, let me know in the comment section so I can give you a shout out. Here's the link again for anybody who's interested. Oh yeah, and for anybody who's looking for the cards, you know the cards, the investor cards. So anybody who's looking for the investor cards, that should be done in the next 2 weeks or so. In about 2 weeks, we'll have the investor cards and you guys can order them at that point. So don't worry about that. It's coming. Yeah, the cards. Yeah, the investor cards. How much for the collect? What's the collect? I don't know what the collect is. Yeah, just rewrite that a bit so I understand. I haven't paid for mines yet. Haven't paid what? Oh, the investor cards are free. They come with your tier. So in other words, if you invested $2,000, you get silver cards. And the silver cards, you get 2 of them, right? So everybody gets investor cards if they invested in Black Sands. You're only going to pay for the shippings, and the shipping's like $5 or something. You know what I mean? So you're just paying for shipping. You're not paying for the cards. It's 2 free cards. 2 free cards. Let's see. Yeah, so absolute worst case, if we don't reach 2 million, does that mean that the release date is pushed back? Yes, the release date is pushed back for sure. Because we can get capital from other places, more expensive capital, right? And more terms. Remember, when you get investors from Hollywood and stuff like that, they have a lot of say. They don't just come with like their checkbook. They come with a lot of like rules and crap, and like who they want to have partnered and who they want you to sell to, all that stuff. So we lose some control, but we will be able to get the capital to finish the anime production. It will delay the production. It will, because that takes longer. It takes longer to do negotiations and everything else. So if we don't want to have any delays and we want maximum control over the property, we need to hit that 2 million. You know what I mean? Mary Ellis says, let's see. Oops, the collection for the printed comics or hardcovers. I don't know what the question is, so I missed it. I missed the question. Who do we write again for the investor cards? You don't ask for them at all. I'm going to send you emails for the investor cards the second they're available. All right. The second the investor cards are available, I'm going to send out emails to everybody, and you'll be able to order your cards directly through that email. Yes, Giselle said she's excited for TC Carson. For real. I'm excited for Giselle. Y'all need to find y'all a good wife. What does the investor card do? Absolutely nothing. It's just clout, man. It's just clout. Let's see here. It's just clout. That's all it is. It's clout. This investor card does absolutely nothing except for prove that you were an investor in Black Sands before it was famous. And when somebody else tries to be a fanboy, talking about, oh, yeah, I always love Black Sands. You'd be like, where's your investor card? Where's proof? Where's proof that you were here before they were famous? You don't need, and this doesn't do anything, but the profit sharing does, all right? So you have a contract for profit sharing on WeFunder. So that's really what's going to get you the money, right? The profit sharing contract. But this is just clout. It's just gangster, right? It's just gangster to have a card. Will the actors be at the investor premiere? I don't know. Most likely some will. Some will for sure. I don't know if all of them will. It's very hard to get all of them there, right? They might be at the Hollywood premiere. So there's 2 different premieres, right? There's the private premiere with the investors, and then there's the Hollywood one. The Hollywood one is like where all the stars and the media comes. You try to get some hype out there. That one's like a paid event. So they're like paying for people to show up and review the movie and stuff like that, right? So that's a very high profile like event. That's where most of the actors will, but I'm sure there's going to be some actors, especially the anime voice actors, like the ones that work in the anime industry. I'm sure a lot of them will want to come out to the event for the premiere. Oh yeah, the comic book collection. So it really depends. If you want to get just the Black Sands comics, it's like $120, and that comes with 6 hardcover books and a whole bunch of other comics as well. If you want my entire collection, I've been seeing a lot of people order it recently. The entire collection is like $320, and that's a huge book list. It's like 40 books, something like that. So that's a big bundle. But I see a lot of people have been ordering them in the last like 48 hours. So if you want to get that, just go to blacksands.com. You can order books. Should you edit current investment or start a new investment? You should increase your investment. So mostly what it does is it edits it, and you say, hey, instead of 1,000, it's 1,500, right? Instead of 1,000, it's 1,500. I don't think there is no new investment option if you already have an investment on your account. I don't think there's no separate way to make one unless you have a different account. You know what I mean? So I think it will be editing the investment, but editing it up. Hey, Jay Noir, thank you so much, man. Hey, anytime people share my content, it's always a great thing for the company. So I don't care how many followers you got, man. Just be an advocate. Tell people. Get them going. Will investing now have different payout? Yep. It'll be 2 different investments. So if you guys raise your investment, it'll count as a separate investment because it's a different term, right? Early bird was 33%. Regular term is 30%. So it will be a different number, but it's 2 different numbers. You'll get both. Yeah, follow my reality. Follow my reality. I think it's just early. I think it's just early right now. If you if we wait like a month or so, I'm sure all the paperwork will look perfect. But as of right now, because it's early in the campaign, they probably don't have like the official final versions. You know what I mean? Is there a game still in production? It's on hold. It's on hold right now because we got to focus on the anime, man. The anime is taking up all the oxygen, but it's good. It's good because we're doing a great thing. So that's kind of what we're working on now. All right, let's go and check on this investment round. See if we got any new numbers real quick. Did anybody just invest? If you did, please let me know in the comment section. But I'm gonna go and check real quick. I haven't really checked, so let me see. All right, we're moving up. We're moving up. Thank you guys. All right, so we're good to go right now. Thank you guys so much for being with us here with TC Carson today. It's been a great day. We're going to be pushing hard on social media for the next month or so because we got a lot of special stuff to be showing you guys. Please participate. Please take action. And please be an advocate for the brand with your family and friends. All right? Be an advocate. Walk them through the process. Help them invest physically, right? Help them go to the website and do everything. Review the videos with them and talk about how that's such a good point or that's such an amazing actor or whatever. Everything you do matters, man. Everything you do matters because I want to get to 2 million, man. I don't want to have to rely on Hollywood money. I hate Hollywood money. Hollywood money comes with too much strings attached. I want to do this entirely with my entire accountability to the Black community only. You know what I mean? That's the only people I want to be accountable for. I don't want to be accountable to anybody in Hollywood. Are you still affiliated with Carl Reed? Yeah, I talk to Carl Reed damn near every day. He's the person in charge of the animation. Carl Reed. So for y'all don't know, Carl Reed is in charge of composition media, and they're in charge of the entire animation process, right? So he's the guy who's basically the CEO or no, the president of the production, period, right? And he's doing everything. All the animation side, hiring people, doing all that studio stuff, that's all him. I'm on the creative side of the production, all right? So I'm creating the scripts. I'm helping, with the animatic and making sure people are acting a certain way and not doing like facial expressions or fighting in ways that is not perfect with what the actual comics do, right? So I'm all about the creative side and Carl is about the execution side, okay? So Carl Reed's doing all that and we're working like crazy. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to holler at y'all later. Thank you guys so much. And remember, keep sharing, keep moving, keep working, man. Black Sands, #1 in the nation. Let's move.